Hey Steelers Nation! Welcome back to the channel, where we bring you the latest on your Pittsburgh Steelers as they continue to improve and push for a big season. Today, we've got an update that could impact our defensive lineup. Alex Highsmith, our key edge rusher, is set for an MRI on his ankle after leaving Sunday's game. And before we dive in, hit that like button to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe for all the Steelers updates. Highsmith's year has been filled with highs and lows. He started off strong but has already missed 3 games due to a groin injury earlier in the season. This setback had him out for a bit, but he bounced back just in time to make a difference in the last few games. Just when he seemed to be getting his groove back alongside TJ Watt, he sustained this ankle injury. Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that, although the extent of the injury is still unknown, Highsmith could miss another 2 to 3 games. If confirmed, it's a tough pill to swallow, as the timing couldn't be worse with an upcoming showdown against division rivals, the Baltimore Ravens. Highsmith's absence could create a major gap in Pittsburgh's defense, affecting our ability to maintain pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Losing him now means our depth in the edge rush position will face its ultimate test. Since he became a full-time starter in 2022, Highsmith has been a force. Teaming up with TJ Watt, the two have formed one of the most effective pass-rushing duos in the league. Last season, Highsmith had a career-high 14.5 sacks and 5 forced fumbles, leading to his 4-year, $68 million extension. This investment showed Pittsburgh's faith in him as a long-term anchor for our defense. At 27, Highsmith is right in his prime, and his performances this season, already totaling 3 sacks, show just how much he contributes when he's on the field. Thankfully, the Steelers made some smart moves to bolster their edge rush depth, starting with acquiring veteran Preston Smith just before the trade deadline. At 31 years old and with 156 games under his belt, Smith brings experience and a steady hand to a defense that thrives on high energy and physical play. Having someone like Smith who can hold down a starting role temporarily gives us a good buffer. Nick Herbig, another valuable addition, is also expected to make his return soon. He's been impressive in his 5 appearances so far, stepping up when needed. Before Smith's arrival, Herbig had already started 2 games, showing flashes of skill and energy. Now, with Highsmith potentially out, Herbig's rotational role could expand, allowing him to showcase his talent as he continues to develop. With Smith and Herbig joining Watt on the field, we're looking at a slightly different defense, but one with potential to hold down the fort until Highsmith's return. Even with Highsmith out, let's not forget that the Steelers' defense remains one of the most respected in the NFL. We're still seeing stellar performances from key players across the board, and it's a team effort keeping us at the top of the AFC North. This depth and adaptability, with players like Watt continuing to lead, ensures that even when a top player like Highsmith is sidelined, Pittsburgh's defensive line can still compete. Highsmith's leadership on the edge will be missed, but this is where the entire defense steps up. As we face off against the Ravens next week, it'll be the ultimate test for our unit's versatility. With both the Ravens and Steelers holding similar records, 7-2 for us and 7-3 for Baltimore, this showdown will have playoff-like intensity, and every player's contribution will count. Now, let's pivot to some good news. Our offense is stepping up in a way we haven't seen in years. Since Russell Wilson took over as our starter in Week 7, this team has been lighting up the scoreboard. We're talking 30 points per game, a massive improvement and a true indication that we're no longer relying solely on defense. Wilson's numbers speak for themselves. We're 10th in EPA per play and 8th in EPA per dropback in that time. Plus, Wilson is pushing the ball downfield with accuracy, keeping defenses on their toes. One stat that really stands out is that Wilson's deep throws have been on point, with 6 big-time throws, ranking him 5th in the league. He's only thrown 1 interception, and that was more of an impressive play by Washington's Jeremy Chinn than a mistake by Wilson. Steelers fans, this is what we've been waiting for, a quarterback who can stretch the field, make plays, and protect the ball. The last 3 games have been a revelation. Pittsburgh's offense has gone from merely managing games to winning them outright. They're now tied for 3rd in touchdowns per game, which is a significant departure from previous seasons. In fact, before this shift, the Steelers were 0-9 over the last 2 years in games where they allowed 24+ points. The defense has often been our saving grace, but now, we've got an offense capable of carrying the load. With both offense and defense performing at a high level, Steelers Nation, we're looking at a team that's built to win in the postseason, not just scrape by to get there. Highsmith's injury is a bump in the road, but with a strong supporting cast in place, we're better prepared than ever to handle it. This season feels different. There's an energy that we haven't felt since the Steelers' incredible 11-0 run in 2020. Sitting at 7-2 through 9 games, the momentum is on our side as we head into this next stretch. As we approach this crucial Ravens game, the importance of both our new offensive identity and defensive depth becomes even more pronounced. This is more than just another divisional game, it's a statement game. If the Steelers can secure a win over Baltimore, they'll not only extend their lead atop the AFC North but also send a message to the rest of the league that Pittsburgh is a force to be reckoned with. Let's kick things off with some backstory. For those of you who may not remember, Broderick Jones came into the league in 2023 after the Steelers traded up to the 14th overall pick to grab him. Coming out of Georgia, Jones was a bit raw and didn't have many games under his belt at the collegiate level. A lot of fans expected him to slot right into the left tackle spot, his natural position, but circumstances saw him move to the right side. Now, halfway into his second season, Jones has experienced both progress and challenges. Adding to the mix, we saw Pittsburgh draft Troy Fautanu this year. However, an injury landed Fautanu on injured reserve, leaving Jones back in the spotlight to prove his worth. Steelers Nation has been vocal, questioning if Jones should be groomed for his original position on the left. And guess what? The coaches might finally be giving us a preview of what's to come. This week, NFL analyst Brian Baldinger gave us something to chew on. In his recent film session on social media, Baldinger highlighted 2 plays against the Washington Commanders in Week 10. In both, Jones was lined up on the left side, showing his power as a blocker. Baldinger noted that the Steelers had set up an unbalanced formation, putting Jones on the left in both goal line and open field situations. This shift, though temporary, was enough to show what Jones can do. He created a solid wall on the left, helping the Steelers control the line of scrimmage. These plays weren't just about gaining yards, they gave fans and analysts a glimpse into Jones's potential as a left tackle. Baldinger's breakdown may have only focused on a couple of plays, but they were enough to make us wonder if the coaching staff is finally seeing what we've been talking about all along. Here's the interesting part. Dan Moore Jr., our current left tackle, has actually had a strong year. He's been holding down the position with solid play, and his contributions haven't gone unnoticed. But with free agency coming up in 2025, Moore could be on his way out. His projected high market value might mean the Steelers can't afford to keep him, especially considering the investments we've made elsewhere. This leaves the Steelers with a crucial decision. With Moore potentially on the move, the coaching staff has to prepare someone to take over on the left side, and Jones is the obvious choice. He's already familiar with the position from his college days, and the glimpses we saw last week suggest he's capable of stepping up when Moore's gone. The Steelers are known for building strong offensive lines, and under general manager Omar Khan and assistant GM Andy Weidel, it's clear they're focusing on the trenches. Both executives have emphasized depth and physicality on the line, and Jones fits perfectly into that strategy. Let's talk about Jones's season up to now. It's been far from a smooth ride, with ups and downs that are typical for young linemen. But Pittsburgh's offense has actually been one of the most efficient we've seen in years, thanks in part to a better-than-expected run game and a new focus on play-action passes. The offensive line has played a critical role, giving Russell Wilson the protection he needs to make big plays downfield. This success has partly come from the line stability and improvement. With players like Jones still adjusting, seeing him slide into the left tackle spot and perform well, even in limited action, is a promising sign. Fans have been eager to see more from Jones, and his performance against Washington may just be the confidence boost he needs to excel. So, what does this mean for the Steelers' future on the offensive line? With Dan Moore's departure likely on the horizon, it makes sense to ease Jones into the left tackle role now rather than wait. The strategy we're seeing, lining him up on the left in specific formations, is a smart way to build his confidence and familiarity without the immediate pressure of a full-time switch. This approach also aligns with offensive coordinator Arthur Smith's goals. The Steelers have made it clear that they're prioritizing the run game, and Jones is a big part of that vision. Placing him on the left gives our running backs the edge they need to gain those crucial yards, and with Jones' athleticism, he could very well become a dominant force on that side. If the Steelers continue to work Jones in on the left in high-stakes situations, it suggests they're preparing him to take over that role. The move would not only give Pittsburgh a strong foundation on the offensive line but also provide long-term stability for our quarterback and run game. This has been a gradual process, but the Steelers' offensive rebuild is coming together piece by piece. Our line has been a work in progress, but the team's 7-2 record and success running the ball prove that something is working. Fans have been waiting to see more out of Jones specifically, and while his journey hasn't been perfect, there are clear signs he's on the right track. Watching Jones on the left side against Washington showed that he has what it takes to handle the position. Pittsburgh's approach to moving him around may seem experimental, but it could be a calculated move to ensure he's ready when Moore leaves. The young lineman is growing into his role, and the coaching staff's willingness to test him in different situations proves they see him as a key part of the offensive line's future. So now, we turn it over to you. What do you think about Highsmith's injury? Are you confident in Preston Smith and Nick Herbig stepping up to keep our defense strong? And how about this offense? Is Russell Wilson's leadership giving you confidence that the Steelers can go deep in the playoffs? Let us know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates. We'll be here every week, bringing you the latest on our Steelers as they continue their march to the playoffs. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Steelers!